Welcome everybody back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another Transformers review. Today's figure is Dark of the Moon Wheeljack. Where did I put the box? Crud, where did it? Excuse me, yep, there it is. So today, like I said, today's figure is Dark of the Moon Wheeljack. This is a Studio Series version to be specific. And this figure released, I believe, in May of 2012. Not May, like around March or April of 2024. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So basically, we'll be just going into the figure, kind of all the stuff about him, his weapons, his posability, his vehicle mode, all that type of stuff. So we're gonna start with the box, though. All right, so got some stuff around me, so I gotta be careful there. Here is the box. Let me actually get the focus. There we go. Pretty nice figure, or pretty nice new box type. Like I said, this is Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon Wheeljack, or Q, how they call him in the movie. And here's a picture of his robot and his vehicle mode. Sorry if I sniffle a little bit. I unfortunately have a little bit of, it's pollen season, stuff like that. Might be something else. And this figure is 23 steps to transform. Going around here, this is another photo of him, or not another photo, but another picture. And then going around again, this is another little part of it. They also have this, I believe that's Mercedes. Yeah, I believe that's Mercedes. And then yeah, this is an authentic Transformer, excuse me. And this top title thing says Wheeljack uses his skills as a scientist to create gear for the Autobots. And then going around this side, he is a deluxe class figure. So let's get into the figure now. So he is a pretty nice looking figure, albeit he's not nice looking figure because he's really cool looking. He's a nice figure because he actually looks like his Dark of the Moon version, which is nice. So he does come with this little staff thing here, I guess it's supposed to be. Pretty long, and then he does also come with a gun. So yeah, he also likes to do the splits. Well, he doesn't really like to do the splits, but he definitely does it a couple times. But you can actually attach the gun to the weird staff thing, or vice versa, whatever you want to call it. And you can make an even longer gun. If I could push it in, there we go. So you can make an even longer gun. Although I'm not even sure what you would use this for. So yeah, pretty nice. We're gonna put that back for now. So yeah, pretty nice figure. Starting off with the good old face. If I could get, yeah, pretty nice face. It's relatively accurate, and then he kind of has like a weird dad bod sort of thing going on, I guess. He also has those shoulders too that he's not that he's known for. Going around back here, you can see there's just one peg for the staff here. Let me actually take the gun back out, and then what you can do, there's this little thing here, and then you could put the peg in, and if I can get it in there, it's pretty annoying to get in. There we go. Then you could have that in there for storage. So if you don't want to have that stupid staff, like have him holding it, you can do that. And then he has pretty nice arms, a little flat though, and they kind of look ugly in this angle, but yeah. And then he has some weird grubby hands. And then he has some skirt pieces, which do limit his movement a little bit. Not much though, fortunately. Actually, no, never mind. Okay, it kind of moves, it just doesn't really move without you affecting it, but yeah. His legs are pretty hollow. Well, yeah, they're hollow, kind of. I mean, they're hollow right here specifically, but yeah, pretty. The figure's not bad. It's just not my favorite figure of 2025, that's for sure. But yeah, pretty okay figure overall. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual figure and his accessories. So we're gonna go into the articulation real quick. So let me actually, once I get this stupid shoulders. So alright, so as far as articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so it can move 360 degrees. Well, actually, no. Looks like his thing blocks that. So, never mind. He can move about 180, give or take, and then he can also look up slightly and then down slightly. As for his shoulders, he can kind of go up pretty far. You can't go over his shoulder because, you got the big bulky thing in the back here, but he can go pretty far up like that, and then he can go pretty far forward like that. He also does have a ball joint at the elbow, as well as a bicep swivel. Unfortunately, the hands don't do anything, but that's kind of expected at this point. His hands can kind of go in it a little bit if you want to do that, but it's pretty nice overall for that feature. He does, I believe he has a torso. No, never mind. He does not. He does not have a torso. He cannot use. I forgot the wording, but yeah. He can have his leg go pretty far forward. I cannot say words today. It's been a while since the Transformers review. Then you can go back a little bit, not as far, but yeah. You can also bend at the knee, so that's about 90 degrees, give or take. And he can also kind of pivot. His foot can also go slightly down, so if you want to have, or it can't really go slightly up at all, but yeah. You can kind of do that, but that's part of a transformation, so yeah. Anyway, that's it for the actual figure itself, so I guess I'll get into the transformation now. Alright, so it's been a while since I've transformed this bad boy, so I might have a little bit of troubles here and there, but besides that, it should be relatively smooth. So, starting off, I'm going to transform his legs first. So, first of all, you're going to bring these little back pieces up here. You're going to bring those into his foot. So, do that on both sides. Okay, once it lets me. Then you're going to want to spin these around inward like this. And then you'll see that there's a little space for you to put the foot in. And then you're going to finish spinning it around, and it's going to connect like this. So just click, and then do the same with the other foot, if it let me. There we go. So just bring that in, and then twist it around a little bit more. Come on. There we go. Good boy. And then click, and then that's done. So just press that whole assembly together. So and then move that out of the way. So then, for the torso here, you're going to want to bring these up like this. And you're going to kind of jimmy the backpack out, because that's just a whole assembly right there. You're going to want to bring the doors up, or the door, whatever these are supposed to be, and then kind of like have everything move out of the way. And then you're going to want to bring this windshield out here. So that'll be like that. And then kind of make sure everything moves out of the way as well. And then kind of make sure everything tabs in correctly. Oops, I actually accidentally got out of frame. Excuse me, sorry. So then you'll notice there's a peg here, and then there's going to be a hole right around here, I believe. So just kind of jimmy it until it gets into that hole. It should get in the hole soon. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so then it pegs in, and then kind of make sure everything's splayed out. And then for the arms, you're going to want to kind of fold them in. So kind of use that other feature I told you about earlier, and then kind of bring that into this part of the vehicle. So do the same thing on both sides, if it let me. Okay, there we go. So just kind of keep putting that in. There we go. Okay. So once you're done doing, oopsies, did not mean to do that. There. So then you bring that in, and then you kind of tab everything together. So that should be nice and good. All right. So then our last thing, make sure these are completely in. So our last thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to bring these around, kind of jimmy them up, because they're on a double, kind of like on a double thing right here. So this moves and then this moves. So you're going to want to kind of bring them in a little bit, and then kind of keep bringing them in until they align with the till these align with this. So just do the same thing on both sides. Like I said, do the same thing on both sides, and then kind of tab them in, and then bring them in like that, and then do the same on the other side. So bring that in, and then do that, and then we should. So then there's a tab here, and then there's a hole, and then you just put them together. So this is the vehicle mode. So let me actually push this down real quick. And yep, pretty nice vehicle mode. It's unfortunately the undercarriage is a little bit of a nuisance, but it's not that visible except for his midsection there. It's relatively visible, but it's not too bad besides that. So yeah, he's a pretty nice figure overall. I do have to get robot mode comparisons, so I'll get those in a second, but I'm gonna review the vehicle mode first since I already have them. So yeah, pretty nice overall. It's a Mercedes. I believe it's Mercedes-Benz to be specific. It does roll pretty well. Undercarriage doesn't really affect much, although the rolling isn't really working on this figure right now. So yeah, back's pretty nice. He does have that logo back there. as well as on the front there. So that's pretty nice. He does have black windows you're not going to see through, which I actually think is better than clear plastic. So yeah, that's pretty good. So let's actually get into the comparisons now. Alright, so I do have some comparison figures to show you. So, first of all, we'll be going with Dark of the Moon Soundwave. I almost said Shockwave. Who I will have up, but I will do him in a second. So, pretty nice. They're relatively the same size going head to head here. Yeah, they're pretty much the exact same height, so yeah, that's about what I expected. Pretty nice, although he's kind of doing a little bit of the splits, so that might influence that. Our next figure is Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen, or technically Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. Why is his back like that? Goodness. Excuse me, let me fix his back. So, yep, he's about the same size as I expected once again, so actually we have to move these guys, because unfortunately Wheeljack is short and Optimus is tall, so yeah. Or at least taller. Oop, that was a bit too far. There we go. Alright, so yeah. This is the size I expected from these two figures. But yeah, pretty nice overall in terms of size. I expect him to be around that height anyway, so. Alright, oops. Optimus, your stupid back kibble is so annoying sometimes. Alright, so our last figure for comparison is Dark the Moon Shockwave. As you can tell, he's about double his height, give or take. Oh, he's large. That is one thing I could be sure of. So, yeah, pretty nice figure overall. Wait, what am I talking about? Why am I saying that? Pretty nice figure. Okay, so the size comparison makes about as much sense as you would think. I do feel like this version of Shockwave is a bit tall for what he's supposed to be. He is Shockwave, but I don't feel like Shockwave should be this tall in comparison to his comrades, or not his comrades, but you get the point. So yeah, pretty nice size comparison overall, and that will be it for the video. See you guys later. Bye.